Welcome to the Love Deep Lab podcast, helping you integrate sex, sexiness, sacredness, and science in your life and your bedroom. And now, your host, Dr. Stormy.
Hi, I'm your host, Dr. Stormy. Thank you for tuning in and watching or listening today to the Love Deep Lab podcast. Today, we are going to talk about something I'm super passionate about. It's for all of you out there who are in sexless or low sex marriages or partnerships. Today is for you. And if you're listening, it's because you're either in a low sex or sexless partnership or marriage, or you know someone who is, but there's some reason you clicked play on this podcast today. So just know that you are meant to be here, that you are not alone. And I think if you are in a low sex or sexless partnership, if you're struggling with sex in your marriage or partnership, you can feel really alone. So you are not alone, and there is no part of you that's broken. So a little backstory why I'm doing this solo podcast this week on this topic is because we had a TikTok video. And if you don't follow us on TikTok, I invite you to. We have some really great content that's playful, but also gives you some good little pearls and nuggets. But our TikTok is called Touchy Subjects. And that's touchy subjects with 3 S's. But we talk about touchy subjects. And this is one of them. And we had a video that went viral about being in sexless or low sex marriages or partnerships. And what was so interesting is so many comments were from men saying, no woman feels this way. And then there were so many comments from women saying, oh my gosh, I thought I was all alone. I didn't know any other women felt this way. And so we are really passionate here at Love Deep about shedding light and love. Let's stop looking at men versus women or looking at gender as part of the issue. The bigger issue is that so many relationships struggle with sex and sexuality. 85% of partnerships report struggles in sexuality, sensuality, and physical intimacy, or some or all of those areas. So if you struggle in your partnership, just know that, again, you are not alone. It is really common. It is also really tender. And I want to share that I have been there. I struggled in my marriage, in a low sex marriage, and it was really painful for me. And so I feel you personally, but what I did was devote my life and my own practice and my own education to helping men, women, and couples out there with this issue. And so I have the honor of working with my clients on this issue often. Oftentimes that's why they will seek me out. But if you're listening today, it's because you also connect to this. You can relate to this struggle. So welcome, you are in the right place. So what is a low sex or a no sex marriage? So the research would say that it's sex less than 10 times a year. So less than once a month would be the definition of a no sex marriage or partnership. Low sex would obviously be a little bit more than that, but still not to the average. And the average is 1.3 times per week for committed partnerships. But here's the deal. Those are just definitions. The question I want to ask you is, how does it feel for you? And I'm imagining if you're listening or watching today, it's because it doesn't feel great. It's not where you want your relationship to be. It's not the level of sexual and physical intimacy you want and you deserve in your relationship or in your marriage. I also get asked, should I stay or should I go? Does sexless marriages always lead to divorce? And no, it does not always lead to divorce. And there's not good research out there about what is the sexless, like what percentage of divorces are because of sexless marriages. But the divorce rate is over 50%. And I have to imagine that that's that can be a big contributor, right? It also can be something that leads to or pushes towards infidelity, resentments, all these things that are really, really hurtful and harmful to your relationship. But I want you to hear that there is a lot that can be done to reignite passion and desire and sexuality and sex drive in your marriage and in your partnership. So thank you for being here today. So let's just get right in. So let's talk about some ways that your sexy homework, this whole podcast is about your sexy homework, ways for you and your partner to begin to build back that intimacy, to reignite that passion. So the first thing is communication. Communication, and more communication. So do you feel like you have the skills to communicate with your partner how sex or sexlessness is affecting you in your relationship? Have you communicated this with your partner? So you do have the skills. We all have the skills, and communication is a practice. It's a skill set that we can learn. But I recommend getting grounded. So go out for a walk, or go exercise, or do whatever, meditate, do whatever you do to get yourself grounded, so that you're not coming from this place of feeling rejected or charged or sexually frustrated with your partner. You're approaching it in a time when you are grounded, and when you can read that they are grounded. Okay, not during a time of conflict. And I want you to tell your partner, share with your partner how this makes you feel, right? Nobody can ever invalidate your feelings. So, for example, I wanted to talk with you because I'm struggling with sex in our relationship. I'm struggling with the amount of sex or the lack of sex that we're having in our relationship. And it really hurts me, or it really makes me feel X, Y, or Z, because why, right? So sticking with you, how it impacts you, how it makes you feel. What is the result of that? And this is not blame. You're not pointing your finger. You're not saying you, and you never, and we never, right? Also avoiding superlatives. Always, never, staying away from superlatives, staying with truth, how it makes you feel. And I want you to follow it up with what it is you desire to create together. Okay, so I desire to create this amazing sex life like we had maybe when we were first dating, or that we had before kids, or whatever it might be. So communicating that's a really great place to start. The second tip is to date each other. So many times we get comfortable in long-term partnerships, and comfort is the opposite of sex-filled. Comfort is the opposite of sexy and passionate and polarized, okay? So remind yourself, maybe you have a date night around telling each other what it is that you adore or appreciate about each other. When was the last time you shared something that you adore about your partner with them? So really getting into dating each other again, reminding yourself what it is you fell in love with this person for, what drew you to them, and then sharing that with them, asking them the same kind of questions. So this is a communication one, but this is also about dating each other. Also, on that note, create time. Right? Create intentional time together, not just like, well, we're always together, so we're always together. I'm talking about quality time over quantity of time. So go out on a date night, create an in-home date night. Do something that separates your time together, that makes it special and makes it sacred. A meditation teacher reminds us that wherever we put our attention is sacred. So put your attention on dating your partner. The third tip is about looking at the polarity. So this is from the tantric world, and I teach a lot of tantra with my clients, and also it's been a life-changing practice for me myself. But it's a really big to look at the polarity, right? So every person has masculine and feminine energies within them. Male, female, non-binary, doesn't matter. It's which energy am I running and cultivating, and which energy is my partner running and cultivating the majority of the time, and definitely in the bedroom. So, for example, I really can run my masculine energy. I'm a single mom, been a single mom since my son was 4. I run 3 businesses. I can get after it. I like to exercise hard. I can really run my masculine energy. And again, this is not about male or female. It's masculine energy and feminine energy. So I can really run my masculine. It's really made me, successful in life and moved me forward and very purposeful. But my feminine energy for me is my superpower. Okay. It's where I desire to be. It's where I desire to be in life, in love, and definitely in sex. Okay. So that's where I desire to be. So ask yourself, where do you desire to be? Where are you currently? Which energy do you run? And then looking at if your partner, if they run the same energy, you might, like, let's say you're both running your masculine energy, you might get like a ton of shit done, but you're not going to want to rip each other's clothes off. If you're both in your feminine energy, that can be really beautiful and vulnerable and connecting and emotionally intimate. But again, that polarity, the polarization that leads to intense passion is not going to be there. So polarities and energies, so awesome to just start to check in. What energy do you run? What energy does your partner run most of the time? How does it change or not change in the bedroom? And how can you start to talk about this and play with the energies a little bit more? And the fourth practice, the final practice for this week, is prioritize your intimacy, prioritize your sex life. And I say this, I feel it so tenderly, and I can really relate. If you are the one who's been initiating and you're the one who feels like there's not enough sex or intimacy in your relationship, it can be so painful. You can feel like you're broken or something's wrong with you, or you're not desirable, you're not worthy. None of those things are true. You absolutely are desirable and worthy. And we are all sexual beings. So you are worthy of sexual intimacy in your partnership. And so is your partner. So, but it can be, you can kind of shut down. I know I really shut down in my marriage. And then I had to reignite and refine my connection to my sexual energy and my sexual passion solo, separate. Okay. So you can do this whether you're having sex with your partner or not, is really prioritizing your intimacy. So saying, I'm going to put my attention, my intention, my time, my practice, maybe investment of time or money with a coach or a therapist or books or classes or all of the above, but prioritizing your intimacy. And if you're here listening or watching, that's because you want to or have thought of or are curious about prioritizing your intimacy. And that shift of mindset alone is amazing, to go from complacency of like, whatever, it's meh, it's fine, it's okay, it's good enough. No, it's not. Nobody wants to settle. Everyone wants to have fabulous sex and nobody wants to talk about it. So just know that prioritizing your intimacy is amazing. I honor you for that. It is brave. It's incredible. It puts you into the upper echelon. So many couples just sort of ride by, get by, settle into comfortability and stagnation, and you're not doing that. So that's amazing. And again, another thing to talk to your partner about, do they want to prioritize? Are they willing to prioritize your intimacy and your sex life? So just having these really tender, brave, amazing, vulnerable, powerful conversations. So those are your 4 practices for this week. I would love to hear how they go for you. So please feel free to email me, info@lovedeeplab.com. You can follow us on Instagram at lovedeeplab, also Facebook or TikTok, touchy subjects with 3 S's. So I would love to hear how these are going for you. Please feel free to reach out or DM me. It is tender. It is vulnerable. I feel you. I see you. There is so much that can be done to reignite passion in your relationship. So thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for being brave and opening your hearts to love deep.